Hi, guys. Welcome to Own Your Essence, the podcast where healing meets empowerment. I'm your host, April DeMille, a psychic medium and a life coach specializing in grief, trauma, and toxic relationship recovery. This is a space for deep conversations, powerful transformations, and raw healing. Each week, we'll dive into soul centered topics like psychic mediumship, the supernatural, metaphysical wisdom, emotional grief, addiction, mental health, spiritual wellness, and self discovery. Through inspiring interviews and personal insights, this podcast is here to spread awareness, spark connection, and support your healing journey. If you're ready to set boundaries, reclaim your confidence, and step into your true power, you're in the right place. Let's own your essence together. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Own Your Essence podcast, where we get to have deep transformational conversations with some of our favorite people. I'm your host, April DeMille, and today we're going to be talking to one of my friends. He's a newer friend to me, but his name is Samo Bohak, and Samo is a poet, philosopher, alchemist, and transformational healing facilitator. So he does all kinds of cool shit. I was just telling everybody about you, Samo.
Cool.
Yeah, so I was reading your introduction and I'm hoping that you could tell us a little bit more about yourself and all the cool shit you do now.
Sure, no problem. So where do you want me to start?
I guess I know you talked about an intense experience that kind of shifted things for
Yeah.
you. Are
Oh,
you able to
yeah,
share a little bit
sure,
about that?
sure, no
Yeah.
problem. So I'll make it short. It's a long story, but it's like I was studying philosophy and translation first in Maribor. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Budapest and sign up for this. I didn't even know what it's called. It's like nationalism studies kind of thing, master. So I got there. I was like, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna help the world. There's really activism into changing the world. I really wanted to change everything right away, start a revolution. So I got there and I was like really excited. Oh, this is great. It's gonna meet some amazing people. We're gonna do some good things. And to be fair, I did meet some amazing people, but when I got there, it wasn't what I expected. It was like it was totally different. I'm not gonna talk shit about people, but I expected we're gonna do things, change things for the better. And when I got there, I got a totally different experience than I expected. And a part of me was just going, "This is not what I wanted. I want something different." I
Yeah.
wrote about it. People agreed about it, and then I got really sick. I couldn't sleep for like a while, a month, and I was going really bad. I was getting all kind of different symptoms, and literally just my life fell apart. I dropped that. I dropped my masters. I came home tomorrow where I lost everything. I spent my whole life trying to be this philosopher, intellectual, and I still like that. But at that time, things just didn't work. So I got home, I got really sick. I couldn't sleep for a month. Like doctors were like, what's wrong with you? But I lost like half of my weight. So I was going mad. And then I met this friend of mine. She was going, you should meet this healer from Ireland. I was like, what? I don't believe this stuff. This is crap. Like, I'm a reasonable person. I don't believe this stuff. No, she really comes. I was like, this is nothing. Crazy hippies. But like after a week, I was like, I haven't slept in a month. I'm going crazy. I got nothing to lose. Whatever. I'll go there. So I go to this spiritual work. She was like, I don't do spiritual stuff. And I was expecting it's going to be people like, in chants, chanting in robes and stuff. And I
Yeah.
walk and there's like a like 2 meters kind of guy, like a biker walks in and goes, "Hi, I'm Jerry." I'm like, "Oh, this is weird. This is not expected." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Look, Jerry, I don't believe any of this stuff, but I'm really sick." What she was like, "Yeah, just sit over there." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So I sit in a circle. It was like a healing circle. Started playing music, and I was like sitting there, like, "Cross, this is nothing. This is stupid. This is stupid. Why am I here?"
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there for the first evening, and it starts with this prayers. I'm like, "Going, this is crap. This is not happening." And like after a few hours, I'm like, "Look, Jared, this is really great, but I don't feel anything. This is just pointless." He goes like, "Just come tomorrow." Yeah, but I don't have the money. Just come tomorrow. I was like, "What? This guy's not about my money." Whatever. I'll come, whatever. So I come the next day and we start the circle, starts the prayers, the music, and I'm sitting there, this is nothing, I don't believe. And suddenly
Yeah.
I
You're like
feel
begrudgingly.
yeah, yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever, whatever. But like eventually my mind starts calming down. I feel this heat going through my head and my body, like in a second, like a volcanic stuff. And like in 3 minutes, I'm just like crying and bawling and screaming and shouting for like 2 hours without even whatever. And like 2 hours later, I'm going, whoa, what was that? And I'm like
Yeah.
completely healed, like nothing, no depression, no nothing. Like I was reborn. I was like, whoa, I don't know what this is, but I'm interested. So I stayed for the whole workshop for like 6 days and completely transformed my life. And by the end of this workshop, I was like, this is it. Like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I
Yeah.
started with this workshop. Then I went to Sarajevo and Ireland and traveled around the world and all kind of different experiences. That was like the first one. There was like many of those similar to that, but that was the strongest because I was like so in my head, so mentally stuck in this mental concept what's reality and what isn't, and it
Yeah.
just collapsed instantly. So that was like a really powerful experience for me.
Yeah. Do you think that you could call that like, when you started and it kind of like everything fell apart and you got really sick, would you say that's kind of like the dark night of soul?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it
Yeah.
was. It was like my whole life fell to pieces, and then I was
Yeah.
like, "This is it. This is." And then like new life was created, a new path that was totally different, which was
Yeah.
my true soul path, but I didn't know it at the time. And
Yeah.
first, I had to let go so the new life could start.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Dark Night of the Soul is. So, like, it's your initiation,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it feels like fucking shit. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, healing is butterflies and sparkles and all the fun stuff. It is not.
No, it
It
is
is
not.
messy as fuck and it is miserable. Not
Yeah,
always, not forever, but
yeah. No,
like in the initiation phases, it is rough.
it's alchemy, and alchemy, there's
Yeah.
different phases of alchemy, and like Negredo is the falling apart, and then there's other phases. But first, your old life needs to fall apart. Who you think you are needs to leave, and if you don't want
Yeah.
to let it go, it can get really hard. So it doesn't have to be hard, but we make it hard. I made it hard because
Yeah.
my
You were
was like,
holding
no, I'm
on.
not letting you go. I'm going. This is it. This is it. So like, had I just let go, but I didn't want to. Could have been
Yeah.
easier, but probably not. So yeah.
Yeah, and if it was going to be easier, it would have been. So, but yeah, our egos like to really hold on to what we know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good stuff actually. So, so with that being said, you kind of ran with it, right? So you kind of really got into it. So you're now doing like Reiki, core, what is it, core and cellular healing and sacred
Yeah.
geometry. Can you tell us like your version of what all of those look like?
Oh, sure. So, like the core and cellular healing is what I explained. That's like a process of an ancient mystical invocation, which you bring in the light and healing energies and just alchemically transform your life. So it's basically it's a whole big thing, but to simplify it for me, it's been like connecting with great spirit. I call it the great spirit or creator or feel whatever. But it's
Okay.
like strengthening that connection and calling it in to help you release all your knots. So technically, it's not just healing, but healing is the first phase that you usually need because if you're like sick and falling to pieces, you can't really create stuff.
Right.
So the first phase is like healing, and then it's like letting go of all the ideas who you think you are, and you're doing it through an ancient process of call and response through a mystical invocation, a prayer that comes from an ancient Celtic and Nordic lineage, but it includes all lineages and all religions and transcends everything. And it's
Okay.
used through music and chanting and energy and different kind of stuff. So it's like really complex, but really simple at the same time.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
Okay.
Should I talk about the rest?
Yeah, you can talk about the rest and then
Yeah.
also like the sacred
Yeah.
geometry.
So
Mhm.
the Reiki, the second thing was like as I started, I also met another teacher of mine, friend from Slovenia, who we did a lot of Zen meditation and also Reiki and the Tibetan path. So I did like Reiki, not so much as a healing. There is healing, but it's more about the mystical path to knowing yourself. So Reiki, there's the
Okay.
healing part and there's the spiritual part, and they all kind of come together. So that's the
Okay.
Reiki part. And the sacred geometry is from the lineage of King Solomon, which are only like I think 5 or 6 years I discovered that randomly. I mean, it discovered me, and
Okay.
it's a big thing. But to simplify it again, it's the healing and the teaching and the spiritual path that King Solomon put for the whole world out there. And the mystery school kind of brings in those tools, and they use crystals as healing tools. So crystals are like healing tools to bring in the light into the
Okay.
world.
Right. So you're using different crystal stones and maybe grids? Is it
Oh
like
yeah,
a
crystal grids. Like I create crystal
okay.
grids for houses. That's the last thing I started, and it's pretty cool and amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite crystal right now? Like something that you're working with the most at the moment?
Yeah, I think quartz. Like I really like quartz, like clear quartz. That's what I use for like the grids and stuff. So that's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Um, Do you have a favorite modality? Like out of all the things you're doing, is there one that you kind of like lean towards the most?
Yeah, I think like all of them are great, but I'd say like core and cellular healing is the one I use the most because it's like
Okay.
so alive and it's so inclusive and it kind of includes everything. I wouldn't
Okay.
even call it the modality. It's just we had to put a name to it, but it's
Right.
like everything. It's just exploring life and responding to life as it kind of comes. So it hasn't really been, I don't see it anymore as a healing modality, but it's just like to exploring the mystery of life and what it
Okay.
brings. And it kind of became, I as you say those prayers and invocation, you kind of become them. So my life kind of became that. It's not like healing
Right.
is,
So it's more like a lifestyle now.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like exactly, yeah, yeah.
So when you talk about the Reiki, I think you said you went the Tibetan path. You said the Tibetan path? Is
Yeah,
that,
like I did a lot of Zen, and also like my teacher did a lot of Tibetan like meditation. I really like the Tibetan Buddhism because it's at
yeah,
one time it deals with energy and consciousness at the same time. So like you kind of
yeah,
need both. Zen
yeah,
is just like consciousness, and some people are just into energy, but Tibetan Buddhism really beautiful brings the two together. So
yeah,
it's like a foundation, it's emptiness and compassion, but within then you can play and create and do all kinds of magic. But as long as you kind of bring it back to emptiness, which is shunyata, which is the ground of being. I really
yeah,
like that part. Like my teacher was going, look, do whatever you want, do all your magic, but bring it back home. So like bring it back. That's what I kind of
yeah.
like about it.
Okay. And so when you said your Reiki style was a little different, can you expand on that a little bit? Because I have thoughts on like I learned Usui Reiki.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was just curious, like what like form you learned and like how much of that is more intuitive led as opposed to like going by the book and like what it tells you to do.
Well, the thing is, like, I was initiated into the traditional Usui Reiki all for like 3 year plus a teacher level recently, but it's not just about which Reiki, but how do you use it? So, like, it's a whole long story. Reiki is not just a healing system. Reiki is a complete path of spiritual progression, and
Yeah,
healing is just one little part of it, which is great and amazing, and we should absolutely use it. But the way I approach it, the way my teacher approached it was like it's a mystical path of knowing yourself. So it's more
yeah,
about seeking enlightenment and healing. Kind of how you need healing in the initial stages of the way to be even able to receive the light that kind of comes in. But
yeah,
the end goal is not healing. The end goal is enlightenment. It's a big word, but end goal is service to all beings. But
right.
unless you expand into endless compassion, as cheesy as it sounds, you're not going to be very effective at it. So it is healing
Well, and
and it's
that's kind of like the
more.
difference between do we want to be right or do we want to be compassionate and be healing?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like this has come up a couple times recently when I'm talking about Reiki, but
Mm,
it's worth mentioning again.
sure.
Even when I learned the tool of the Usui
Mhm.
Reiki,
Yeah,
it was fascinating because what I discovered was I was always using Reiki.
absolutely.
I just didn't do it the way I was taught. Like I had my own intuitive way of doing those things. And so I learned the modality just for the sake of having the tool, the skill, the knowledge, but I even still do not practice it that way. I practice it much different.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you should find your own way of doing it. There's
Yeah.
big discussions of traditional and wrong and right, but it doesn't really matter. For me personally, it was like I do it traditionally, but within those very broad strokes, I do it completely on my own. So I kind of respect the traditions that it was given, but I also like
Yeah.
do it in my own way at the same time. And I think every Reiki is different. My teacher would say every Reiki is completely different. Your Reiki will be different than my Reiki, even though you would do it exactly by the book. It's going to be totally different, and it's meant to be different.
It's absolutely, absolutely. I think that's true. So you talked about also like your experience in martial arts. Um,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, can you expand on that one? And do
Yeah,
you
that
have like
was
a
amazing.
do you have like a form that you prefer, or is there
Yeah, I
several?
did
Or
all different kinds stuff like Aikido and then mixed martial arts and kickboxing and jujitsu. Like the thing is, like when I started my spiritual path, just about the same time I met my sensei, my friend Matei, he was also doing the same spiritual healing and he was like my martial arts teacher. So I started my spiritual path and the martial art path at the same time, and it's kind of connected. I can't even
okay,
split it
yeah,
apart because in our tradition, in the Celtic Nordic tradition, the warrior way and the healer way are not separate. They're like one and the same. You need to be able to create a safe space so people feel safe so healing can happen. and not
Hmm.
just in circles, but in life, And it's not about warrior as war. It's just like protecting the innocent. It's like making sure you feel safe, making sure you're solid, making sure you're clean. It's like not war on others, but kind of war on the, how to say, smaller, or like, in looking for the right words, the part of yourself that would deceive you. It's like, where are you self-deceiving yourself? Where are you
Hmm.
bullshitting yourself? It's like a
Yeah.
lot of spiritual path, like martial arts is like, you can't bullshit. You either
Yeah.
do it or you can't, and if you can't, you lose. So there's a certain type of honesty there.
Well, and
And
it's
it's
a
like,
discipline too.
yeah, absolutely. Like, it saved my life. Like, when I was going through really, really hard initiations, even after the first one, that was not the hardest. It became much harder later on. Like, had I not had the martial arts, like, I'd be dead, like 100%. I had like period in my life for 2 years when I had a really, really deep depression. It was an initiation, but I know it that
Right.
it felt like forever and nothing was moving and no healing help because there was no healing. It just needed to happen. And
Yeah.
today, like, I'm just so grateful to my teacher, Matei, because like, no matter how broken I was, every day I would show up and train. Like, I couldn't sleep, breathe, eat, do nothing, but I would get my ass up and train no matter what. And that saved my life. And I know I had that this discipline of getting through that, I wouldn't have succeeded. So like, martial arts saved my life on many occasions in many ways, and I think it's super useful thing.
Yeah. I actually don't have a whole lot of experience with martial arts, but I did try. I loved kickboxing.
Mm.
But I'm not gonna say that was too into martial arts. It was a little more, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It felt like it was like faster moving cardio style as
Yeah, yeah,
opposed
yeah,
to,
it is. It's a lot of good
yeah,
exercise. Like, kickboxing is
yeah,
really good for like cardio and exercise and muscles
yeah,
and stuff. It's cool stuff. Yeah.
yeah. It was good. And then the other one I think was I experienced a little bit of Tai Chi.
Oh yeah, that's more kind of forms
Just
and,
movement.
yeah, energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's definitely interesting stuff. I have always kind of favored the kickboxing though.
Mm.
Definitely something I've liked doing before. So I want to kind of talk about your poetry a little bit.
Sure.
Do you so with your I know you've had a lot of experience with your wordsmithing and poetry and can you talk about how that kind of helped you unpack some stuff in your journey?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I always was interested in poetry and stuff, but it really started flowing through like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. I'll tell the story. I was in Ireland living with my good friend of mine. Every once in a while I went there and my computer broke down. Like, it was a big store. My computer broke down. I had no money for new one. I was like, okay, no more social network. So like, I could only use the computer for like half hour a day, his computer. So I wake
Hmm.
up every morning and just start writing poetry. And I just wrote stuff and it just kept flowing ever since. And it just comes naturally. I don't even think I have to write it or I'll go mad. Like, so poetry was like self-healing. And at the beginning it was like healing my traumas and stuff. But
Yeah.
after a while it was like inspiration from Great Spirit going, write this, do
Yeah.
this. Then eventually it became healing in itself, not just for me, but for others. And the last thing was like during COVID, the whole lockdowns and stuff. I was like, fuck this. And I went to Ireland again. And I stayed with the same friend. And I was going, what was happening, and we won't go into that. But I was so angry about what can we do? What can we change? And I was going, Great Spirit, what do I do? How do we change this? Like, after
Yeah.
a week of ranting, poetry started flowing through. So I wrote my healing tree. That was like the answer. The poems came as the answer to the problem, not to solve the problem, but kind of bring through the consciousness that will be needed to change things. I was like, whoa. And then there was another book, Ball of Cherish, this kind of collection of different poems over the years. But I realized that that was the medicine. Like, the
Yeah.
poetry was the medicine for me. And then as I was going through intense stuff and I put it into poems, someone else may be able to relate and go, oh, I might not kill myself today because I read this poem. Like,
Yeah.
had I not written those poems, I probably would have, but I didn't. So like, art,
Yeah.
martial art, it's both arts, just different kind of art.
Well, I can definitely relate to the poetry journey because even when I was in middle school, I would write song lyrics and poems, and it was something I was really into. And as I got older, I kind of lost that
Mm,
part of myself. I got into the teenage years and going to school and partying and chasing boys and
mm,
doing all the things, right?
mm,
I just kind of put that stuff down. But then when I got older and I started having kids, and then I went through some real big hardships when I lost my younger daughter.
mm,
After that happened, had some time, and it kind of just took over,
Mm.
and the words just started gushing through me again. And a lot of it was very healing and transformative, but I also reached a point where it was more inspirational,
Mm.
and I almost akin it to channeling, because
Yeah.
it was definitely a higher self
Yeah.
that was coming through that I didn't even recognize half the time. I would sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to write a poem about this. And
Mm.
then I would put the pen, and all the automatic writing would take over, and it would
Mm.
be something completely different than like
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
I thought I was going to do. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that was the art. That was the beauty in it. So it was definitely a big part of my life for a lot of years. But then one day, I want to say one day in like 2018, maybe 17, I sat to write a poem, and it was the last one I ever wrote. The
Mm.
very last one. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm done. So, like, it was just the weirdest thing. I was like, okay, I guess that phase is over. And now I'm
Mm.
finding other ways to use my voice, and that's not the tool right now. So it was just so weird.
Yeah, interesting. There's this bardic tradition in Celtic and also in Slavic, like the bards. But people think bard is something just funny and jokey. It's not. It's so much more. Like the bardic tradition was like speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Like the bard would speak the truth to kings, to power. Like, even a king would not be able to go against the bard because that was like the voice of truth.
Yeah.
Like, and it was not so much about the content, but like the energies. Like I write all kinds of different stuff, and it's
Yeah.
not so much about the content, but the energy that comes through. Like the
Yeah.
truth comes through as an energy, and that's what poetry always has been, like
Yeah.
in its highest essence. And every art, in my understanding, in its highest essence, that's what it is. Everything else is like fun and great, but it's about transcendence in the end.
Yeah, it is. You're right about that. So during your travels, I know you said you've traveled a lot.
Yeah.
Did you ever see fairies?
Yeah, I did
I
in
was
Ireland,
actually going to
but
ask. I was like, I
yeah.
have to hear about your Ireland
Absolutely,
stuff.
but not the way people imagine them with like Disney. Like the thing is, like
They're not like
for
that.
me, I don't really see things as much. There was a period when I saw things, but it was more like seeing the vibrations. Like my experience,
Okay.
like in Ireland, everything's alive. Right? Like when you walk out into the green, it's so green you can't imagine it. I remember I was living in this beautiful, amazing town, Clonakilty in Ireland, beautiful fairy tale town. And
Hmm.
I lost my job, found another job like it was like a deli delicatessen store. And I
Okay.
hated it, but like whatever, I needed money. So
Yeah.
like it was so like during the break, I was just sitting outside on the bench, and I'm looking like there was like a little bit of forest and the grass, and I'm looking at it. It started like vibrating, coming alive, and like a portal open. It was like becoming really alive, but it's not
Yeah.
like portals, but like I could see, no, feel at the same time. It's alive and it's speaking to me, which is going, relax. It's gonna be fine. So
Right.
like no matter how hard the work was, there was like magical around me, so I didn't bother. I was so grateful. I'm this magical fairyland. But it's like it's everywhere in Ireland, and then it's everywhere, and you cannot not see it unless you're like completely blind. But it's
Yeah.
not the way people think it is. It's more like, for me, it was more like a vibration, or like the land opening up, or more like a feeling. So like it's
Hmm.
not, did you see it? How could you not see it? It's my question.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it does appear different for people. Like I actually have seen fairies with my physical eyes, just like I've
Oh.
seen angels and stuff. And
Mm.
they are and they are not like what you would think of in a movie or
Mm.
Disney or something. They are and they're not, because
Mm.
they can come in different shapes and sizes and
Mm.
colors
Mm.
and personalities and all the things. So it's not like they all look like Tinkerbell or something,
Mm.
but they have always shown up small with wings, and so that
Mm.
part stays consistent. So in my experiences at least, but there is definitely a different vibrancy
Mm.
to that frequency that is just you can't even put it into words.
No, you can't. Like for me, I just felt things, like clairsentience. I would feel things. I wouldn't see things so much. I would just feel a
You
presence
would
and go
feel it.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a
Yeah.
fairy. This is a thing. And eventually kind of learn to distinguish.
Yeah. Would you say that Ireland's one of your favorite places, or did you have one that was like
Yeah,
more?
Ireland's like my second home, but like
Okay.
Iceland's really cool too. So I'm into Iceland right now. I love it so
Okay.
much. But Ireland's kind of my second, first ancient home. So like every once in a while, I go there to just be there. And I'm so grateful. And that's where all the healing, that's where my teacher came from. That's where this healing is coming from. So like I'm so connected to Ireland in different ways and I'm totally in love with it. But I couldn't be there all the time. Like I need to move and change. So I absolutely love it for like I lived there for years. But then I was like, I needed to change, you know. So Ireland's amazing. I love it. I love the Irish people. It's totally magical. It's just everybody should go there if they can.
It's on my bucket list, on my bucket
Yeah.
list. But yeah. So, um, I know you said that you've done a lot with the Celtic, Nordic,
Mhm.
what was it? Did I say Slavic? Is it
Yeah.
Slavic?
It's,
Um,
sure, go ahead.
yeah, I just don't want to like say the words wrong, but like I'm curious kind of like what brought you to study those?
Well, the thing is, it found me, you know, like I wasn't even looking. It just kind of, I got my experience when I was really sick. Like it came to
Okay.
me. And
Yeah.
once I got it, I was like, whoa, this is what I want to know. I was always interested in that, but I didn't know I was. I was
Yeah.
studying philosophy. I wanted to know the truth about the meaning of life. And I was reading all the books and all the philosophers, and some of them were good and some of them weren't. But then I was like, this isn't satisfying me. I need something more. So my soul was going, what is it? I want to know it and be careful when you ask that because like to
Right.
know and experience is different than to think about it. And philosophy is amazing as like exploring, but there's this famous philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. He was a German philosopher, really clever, and he wrote that at the end of one of his books, that's not the exact quote, uh, but I mean I can't remember the quote, but the point was like at one point our language will not be able to explain to us how to feel things, you know. So language is just one tool, and I needed to get across. So I was kind of asking how to get across, and then life just came at me. But first, it needed to dismantle everything I thought about the world because it was totally the opposite what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, so everything I thought reality wasn't the truth, and to know the meaning of life is to experience it. It's not an idea, it's not an ideology, it's not even a spiritual teaching and going, oh, this is what it is, but it's like you live it. You get to live out your true nature. And my true nature is like poetry and healing and magic and madness and travel and martial arts and everything. And it's not one thing. It's
Yeah.
like everything and it keeps changing. You know, that's as close as I've ever gotten to it.
Yeah. I would definitely say that we're always like leveling up and outgrowing ourselves and it's always changing for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, when things start to feel really heavy for you, like even now, like
Mhm.
when things just feel heavy and you're starting to feel a little off or disconnected, what's like the fastest way for you to ground yourself, center
Well,
yourself?
right now I go to the gym. Like
Okay.
I just go to the gym and it totally works. But it was like martial arts, and now it's
Hmm.
like the gym, and then it's also nature. And sometimes I would like I don't really meditate. It's more like a prayer. For me, it's like every day I just communicate with nature, great spirit, like I'm talking to you. It's not something special at all. I'm just like, hey, great spirit, I need some help. Could you help me out? Could you do this for me? And it totally works
Yeah.
because I've been doing it for so long. So it's like communing with the mystery. And that can
Yeah.
be anything. It could be taking a walk with my dog, which is here, and I love her, or it could be going
What
to the
kind of
gym.
dog?
Oh yeah, Albina, come
Let's
here.
see her.
Her. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, hello. There she is.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Look at her.
Yeah, she's amazing. Mm.
What's her name?
Albina, like
Albina.
albine, because she's like a little bit white.
She's like, you guys are mean. You woke me up.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, animals are amazing. Like this dog saved my life. My life needed to
I
be
was
saved
actually going to
many times.
ask you what she's taught you about life.
Oh, everything. I mean, I won't get the whole story, but there was a period in my life when I had this grand, beautiful idea how my life is going to be amazing. I'm going to have a perfect relationship and perfect everything and perfect great. And it was for a month. And it was like the total opposite, which again was perfect in a way as the teaching. I needed to grow and mature and stuff. But
Yeah.
like I was growing through a lot of stuff and nothing was kind of helping. And I was feeling getting through so much trauma and abuse from the past. I was kind of healing all of it. And things were really intense. And then me and my girlfriend at the time, which I still love and we're good friends now, we were just really trying to get along and it wasn't working. And I was going, what do we do? What do we do? And I was in Iceland. I went to Iceland and I was washing dishes, like in a hotel to just get away from stuff. And she goes like, we're gonna get a dog. And I'm like, what? Yeah, sure. So I get home. At least I think that's how it was. And once the dog came, I was going, this is a healing dog. And this dog brought so much healing and lightness and got me through so many. It's just amazing. Like, I owe my life to this dog and she's amazing, and
Yeah.
it's not an overstatement. That's the truth.
Yeah, no, I think there's something to be said about animal presence because they're very unconditional
Yeah.
and a patience that we can only even wish to,
Mm.
have that kind of success. But yeah, I think it's been a long time since I've had a pet of my own. I've had every dog in the world, to be honest, but
Yeah.
I think 2017-ish might have been the last time I had
Mm.
a pet. And yeah, but I get to love on everybody else's, so I'm okay with
Mm.
that. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. So, what questions do you wish people would ask you more of?
Hmm. The thing is, at this point, my main, goal or like goal target in life is to expand consciousness. So like, if people want to ask me questions how to do that, I'm totally open. It's not so much about me because like I don't really matter. It's fun and it's great, but this is not about me. This is about what I can bring through, and anyone can do this. This
Hmm.
is not some. I'm not some special gifted whatever. I'm just a guy. I was studying philosophy, and then my life fell apart, and I started doing this, and I've been doing it ever since. And I'm not special. And people think you have to have some special gifts. And like, sure, people have different gifts, but it's not. With this particular work, it's like anyone can do it. It's simple and infinitely complex at the same time, but anyone can do it, and it's very practical. So it's not just mystical somewhere out there. It's like very practical. It can be anything from like healing, not me, but like the energy can heal your knee or heal your depression or turn your life around and change everything. There's no limit for this energy that's flowing through me and can flow through anyone if we just open up. It's just like, how do we put ourselves aside? We're not learning healing. I'm unlearning. My whole last 15 years have been unlearning things.
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
learned anything new, really. I was like, I had to unlearn everything I thought I knew. And the less I know, the more it flows. And even
well,
just recent, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you're right when you say that you're not learning anything new, you're remembering.
Exactly. It's our innate nature.
Yeah,
It's our
yeah.
true nature. It's our birthright. Everyone has it, but we forgot it. We lost it. There's different reasons for that, but not just individually as a community. This is a communal thing. It's a healing circle. It's a sacred circle, and we all create it. I'm not leading the circle. I'm just facilitating the process for people, and everybody brings their own healing. It's a communal way, and that's the beautiful part. Why I love it. One-on-one is also possible, but like when people come together, all these energies come together, it's infinitely more powerful. And that's how it was in the past. In our Slavic culture and Celtic culture, and in every culture in the world that ever existed was the tribe and the circle.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been wanting, me, us, all of us have been wanting to bring this back for all of us. So this is not just individual healing or a little bit of this is not just me trying to get enlightened, but like how can we recreate something that's been there a long, long time ago? And it's so needed and it's so essential, especially as all systems fall apart and what we're going through. This is going to be so needed. Like I had no idea why I'm here, but now I understand, like
Yeah.
we so need this right now for so many reasons. So I'm like, how can I bring this to as many people as possible so they can open up to who they are? That's kind of my main mission, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and it's a beautiful mission to have. So, okay, are you ready for some fun
Sure.
questions?
Go ahead.
Just some random stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, favorite Celtic or Nordic myth or legend?
Odin's.
Odin. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
do you want to expand on that a little bit for the people that don't know?
Yeah. It's funny when I speak of this, it's kind of present. So the Odin is the Nordic god of poetry, warfare, wisdom at the same time. And there's this ancient myth how Odin hung on the world tree for 9 days. And his 9 days, he sacrificed himself to himself. And on the last days, and he almost quote unquote died, he found the runes. He jumped for the runes, and the runes are the mysteries of the universe. It's like an archetypical
Yeah.
myth that has so much. I could have the whole interview just on that, but it's about
Yeah.
wisdom and poetry and magic and sacrifice, but sacrificing yourself to yourself, because that's what my journey has been.
Yeah.
Sacrifice your old self to your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of really inspiring for me.
Yeah. I like that one. Okay. Um, so a book that you keep finding yourself going back to.
It's funny, somebody asked me that question. There's two books. One of them is The Prophet from Khalil Gibran. It's the amazing Khalil Gibran is this amazing poet from Lebanon, and The Prophet is the title of the book.
Okay.
And it's amazing. Everybody should read
I'm writing
it.
it down. I was writing it down. So yeah. Okay. The
And
Prophet.
yeah, and the first one was like Sophie's World. Before I started studying philosophy, there was this book, Sophie's World, by this Norwegian guy. And it's this beautiful story about this young teenage girl who goes into a garden and finds a secret gate and then gets secret letters and then gets to know all about philosophy. But it's not just about philosophy. Like 20 years ago, I was like, oh, this is philosophy, but it's actually about mystery and magic. So everything was there. My whole
Okay.
path was already there 20 years ago before I knew it.
Yeah. Okay. That almost kind of gives off the vibe of like Alice in Wonderland
Yeah,
or
it is.
this or the Secret Garden mixed with Alice in
Exactly.
Wonderland. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Um, oh, I think I already asked you this one. I said, what crystal or stone is your favorite right now? But you said quartz, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Turquoise also is really cool.
Okay, so you like
Yeah.
turquoise too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I love this question. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
If healing had a sound, what would it be?
A roar of
Oh, look at
lion.
you. I love that. That one's fun. Okay, one word that sums up your entire journey so far.
Can it be two words?
Yes, it can be a
Okay.
sentence, but
Exploration of the mystery, exploration of the magic and mystery of life.
okay,
Like the mystery, if there was one word, the mystery.
okay. I love that. Okay, Samo, do you have any last words of wisdom to offer our audience before we wrap things up?
Yeah, you are the wisdom. I have nothing really special to say. You are the wisdom that's trying to come through. Don't listen to me, don't listen to anyone. Like, listen to everyone as an inspiration, but don't trust anyone to speak for you. Like, of course, we have teachers and amazing wise people. Go and learn from everyone, but like, listen to your core, which is your direct connection to God creation, and follow that. And then follow that in relation to everyone else. I'm kind of quoting my teacher a little bit, but it's really important because there's so many informations and stuff, and all of it is great. But especially now, I think, when there's so much noise in social media and AI and stuff, it's really important to feel who you are and follow that. Which doesn't mean you don't listen, doesn't mean you don't learn, doesn't mean you don't respect teachings, but like always bring it back home and start from there. Like when you're building a house, first build the foundation and then everything else. And I think that's super important for everyone.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that for people to just keep seeking, keep asking questions, that to me is what faith is.
Yes,
So yeah,
exactly.
I love that. Those are great words. So, what is if somebody was wanting to reach out to you or connect to you, what's the fastest way they could do that?
Well, I
And
have a
I'll
webpage. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say I'll also put it in the show notes, but if you want to go ahead and tell the audience, that's fine
Yeah, I
too.
have a webpage, www.samobohak.com, name, surname, and I have like basic presentation. I have like Instagram and Facebook and different stuff. So just ping me, send me a mail, check it out. I have YouTube channel, I have different kind of stuff, and I have a Substack which I really like, where I write lots of stuff and people can just get access into my world. So I've kind of written as I went along. I wrote the whole story, and
Okay.
like all of it is true and all of it isn't true. You decide, whatever. It's so magical, mystical, but it's like my Substack. But all of that is on my website, so people can just go and check and see what speaks to them.
Okay. And I was going to say I'm connected to you on Facebook and I always love reading your quotes and your content. Like I
Thank
love the
you.
stuff that you're putting out. So yeah. Well, thank you, Samo. I'm so glad I finally got to meet you in
Thank
person, face to
you.
face. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to our audience now. Bye, you guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you for joining Own Your Essence. I am beyond grateful to our guests for sharing their wisdom and to you, our listeners, for being part of this journey toward healing and empowerment. If today's conversation resonated with you, please feel free to subscribe, leave a review, and share this space with others who might need it. If you have questions, topic ideas, want to be a guest, or would like to work with me privately, send an email. I'd love to hear from you.